is the bottom layer. Like I said, the middle layer is which has caused activity down here. Now, on top of that, the absolute amazing thing about it is, I'm in this area and I feel the richest man in the world. And why? Because I've got people in the residual energy walking up and down these energy levels here, these floors, guarding something. Guarding. What the heck were they guarding?
How are you feeling, Melinda, knowing all that information, and you've just felt really peculiar earlier on?
I do. Well, I tell you what, it's getting worse, actually, because now I feel really... I'm not making this up, but my chest is going really tight. Yes. And it's like it's hard to breathe and everything.
Do you think that's possibly because you've heard what Derek has said and maybe your imagination is working overtime?
No, it really isn't. It really isn't. Honestly, you know, to begin with, it was like, yeah, okay, yeah, you know... but I genuinely am feeling that, and that's not being influenced by you at all. That is a genuine feeling.
Richard, how are you feeling at the moment?
Just say, you do feel an enormous sense of history. That's too lame a word, but you do feel these layers you talk about. What I sort of feel is a sense, just a huge sense of this whole building being steeped in so many histories, not just the history of the building itself, but so many personal histories.
Yes,
without a doubt. You know, and that you can feel. And I'm not sure whether that's a paranormal thing or whether it's just perhaps a romantic sort of idyll I have. Or
Richard, that is the emanations coming from that middle layer of people who are placed to rest, okay? And then many, years later, for that to be all dragged up and changed and to expose their resting place. Right. So basically they would cause, not evil, but would cause the sensation of saying, I'm leaving it in the atmosphere forever to be, buzzing around in our ether. Now, the other thing is, which I've been trying to get to the bottom of, is that this place also was angrily protected by someone, like guarding something.
Here. Sorry, you carry on, Derek, because I'm just going into here and I'm just having a little investigation on my own.
I feel as if I've got a number. It's only in the residual energy. There are a number of men with nothing to do with the layer of Roman soldiers. Nothing to do at all with the burial of these thousands of people, but to do with guarding something, and they had to guard it, and they guarded it with absolute passion. And it's like as if I'm looking at this here, and this is not locked up, but I feel as if, and I did earlier on, is if bolts come across and gates and bang, 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 and I'm stuck and I'm locked behind things, and yet. Just for a short space of time, I felt the richest man in the world here.
How far back does this go?
I have to butt in there very quickly. Richard Felix, three things he mentions. The first of those is this desecration of ground. What's he talking about?
There was a burial ground, and you must remember that people in those days, even as today, crave a decent burial, and the worst thing on earth for anyone is to think that their body's going to be dug up and removed.
What are you talking about?
St Pancras Church is just across the road, and there was a massive burial ground round here.
And it was moved.
Belonging to St Pancras. And of course, when the railways came and they built this, they disturbed all the ground and they dug them up.
Well, here we are. We're still in the basement, and of course we've got Richard and Melinda with us from Loose Lips, and also we've got Phil and Derek. Now, Derek, just before we went to the break, you started, and during the break actually, you started picking up on something to do with a bank. So just tell us exactly what that was again.
Sorry for getting overexcited.
No, I had to calm you down, as per.
No, what it was because to get this residual energy to suggest to my conscious mind that I'm locked behind the secure bars and what have you, and to be surrounded by great valuables, if not in money, feeling a very rich man. And then suddenly, for Sam to give me those conditions, he kept on talking about a bank. And I said, what do you mean a bank? And then he talked then about the bank, again, the bank, and then suddenly the Bank of England. The Bank of England. So there's got to be a very, very strong connection with something to do with finances, money, and the Bank of our England.
Right, okay.
And I feel on these conditions here, on this level.
Why would, earlier on you mentioned about the burial ground.
Yes.
Do you know why there would be a burial ground here? How long, you mentioned Roman times.
Yes. No, this comes forward after I feel the Roman times. And for some reason, many, many years later, it was deemed by whoever to dig up these sacred grounds to suddenly realise, okay, maybe by mistake I suppose, but to realise that, hey, they've made one big mistake, because what have they done? They've dug up thousands and thousands of graves.
So, are the bodies still here?
Those conditions, I believe in feeling, so many were moved, but there are so many still here.
Really?
But the physical, yes, underground here. And I feel it's those energies that are lying very, very strongly on this level, in these basements, in this energy field, in this ether, or air.
Do you think that's why there's some activity down here?
Yes,
really?
without a doubt. And also, the energy, there's extra energy from that third layer, even going on in time, nothing to do with the graves, nothing to do with the graves at all, but to do with the people that used to guard very, very, I suppose at times vehemently, this great stash of monies or something like, something to do with the Bank of England. So we've got 3 layers.
Right.
Of residual energy, not clashing with each other, but separately coming out into the ether for us to, pick up psychically. And
Sorry, Dirk, where's that draft coming from?
I keep feeling a draft.
God, right across my face.
well,
It's not even like a window open, is it?
Because we're still in our physical body, and our energy field, okay, will pick up this energy. Because you're picking up 3 levels of energies, but residual, yes.
Okay,
but 3.
We'll have to leave it there. We'll have to leave it there. Can I just say thank you so much for coming down?
Thank you. I can't wait to leave now.
If I start channeling anything tonight, I'm coming to lie with you, Yvette Fielding.
Oh my word!
Albeit in a crypt.
We're going to see you on our show tomorrow, aren't we?
Yes, look forward to it.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
It's back to David and the experts.
Thank you very much indeed, Yvette. I bet they wish they'd never accepted our challenge to come here to the Midland Grand Hotel. A fantastic building. Tell me, guys, what do you make of this? Come on, Kieran. You're an academic. You're open-minded sceptic. What do you make of tonight so far?
A lot of the information that we're getting from Derek is good because it's verifiable. There's a lot of history here, and like Richard said, there's so much that he could get coming through. However, for me as an academic, the information that's coming through is not evident, because it's an issue of how much of this information is available prior to the visit, or how much of this information is available in the public domain, or even just sitting in a cab around St Pancras.
So are you saying that for you there isn't enough evidence because he could have looked it up?
There is that possibility, yes, and that's always a possibility you've got to look at with somewhere that's perhaps as famous as this hotel and in such a central location.
Felix?
The big thing about it is that the ghost stories to do with St Pancras are not recorded. I'm doing a tour of Great Britain. I've done Ghosts of London, and I didn't even know that St Pancras was haunted, so I got no stories about it. It's first-hand evidence from people that were around here, not taxi drivers, I wouldn't think, and you cannot look at... Derek could not have got this information before he came here. I genuinely mean that.
And just very quickly, this Bank of England he kept going on about...
There was a storeroom here. I don't know why or where, but down in the basement there was a large storeroom for storing valuables from the Bank of England. I don't know if it was overflow or what it was.
OK, do you think that you will change your mind throughout the course of this evening?
If we get some more specific information and Richard and I have a chat, then yeah, possibly.
OK, Kieran, stay with us. Join us in a few minutes after this break.